Sean Curran here. He is class of 2002 from Saratoga, one of my best friends and teammates from high school. So why don't we just start off with Sean, some of the highlights from your high school running career at Saratoga.
Wow, happy to. And thank you for having me, Shane.
You got it.
I'm very excited to talk to the future. So some highlights, I would say team highlights for cross country, winning the federation meet, state championship our junior year and also our senior year. Two very different teams, but both really exciting experiences. Just a full season culmination, very exciting wins there. For outdoor track, I'd say my 3200, my senior year at state meet. I put my PR together after a full season focusing on one specific goal, getting there and accomplishing it. I ran 9:16 at the New York State meet and came in third for Class A. So that was a big highlight for me.
Can you talk about the with the first year when you were on the federation team and won cross country, but you didn't win states the week before, right?
Oh yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about that, like how you guys lost the big meet and then bounced back a week later and won? This is before NXN, guys who are listening. It's before NXN, so the meet to end all meets as a team was feds, and everybody went. It wasn't like today where people pick and choose. So can you talk about that, like bouncing back?
Sure. So I mean, it's hard to remember all the details, but we won big at sectionals, and I think we were one of the favorites. We were nationally ranked for a little while my junior year. I don't remember how high we got, but so we were one of the favorites going into the what do you call it, the NF or
Yeah, the state. We do, states and feds. Yeah, Class A's.
Yeah, so Class A's, we were one of the favorites going in, and real muddy course, a lot of rain, and we just bombed it, and nobody really ran particularly well. I remember somebody lost a shoe. Somebody lost a spike. Just stuck in the mud, and just nobody ran well. And we were pretty dejected afterwards, and it was like maybe we bought into our own hype a little bit. And then that last week of practice, it was tough. It was and it's that week that, or back then at least, it was the week where daylight savings comes. So it's like running in the dark and just like, we're doing like popcorn drills out in the dark. And I don't know if you guys still do those, but
some of the older guys on the team will know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Just spike drills out in the dark fields, and it's like, like we've come all this way. Like, can we not just ended on that note? And then feds, we went in very serious, and the result showed up for us. We put the work in, and we got a good result.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And then the next year, when we won both the states and the feds, and actually the course that we won states at, we beat Liverpool by 1 point, and then came back and won feds the next week. And then in 2011, the Saratoga boys won at Elma Meadows, same course, by 1 point as well, also over a Section 3 team. We beat Liverpool back in 2001, and these guys beat FM in 2012. So it's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right.
Just quick on my senior year state meet.
Yeah. Sorry.
That one's a fun one because our top 5 was pretty solid. But no knock on 6-7, Shane.
Yeah,
there was a drop off. There's a drop off from our scoring guys to our not scoring guys. Yeah. So it was like, if anybody had an off day, that was it. And everybody ran pretty good that day. So nobody had an off day, and we managed to hold on.
Yeah, so. No, you guys, our top 5 was definitely the best top 5 in the state. It was just a matter of like having everybody have their best day at the same time, because other teams could afford to have one or two guys mess up because they had a little bit more 6'7" depth,
Yeah,
like which
Liverpool,
which
like,
we didn't.
yeah,
Yeah, that's like how we talked about the Shenendehowa team this year. Some of the varsity guys will be able to know, like the Shenendehowa team, which ended up winning sectionals this fall by 1 point over Guilderland. They had 10 guys who were almost interchangeable. Us in Guilderland had a very solid 5-man group, but things got interesting after that. And unfortunately for Guilderland, their 4 and 5-man didn't bring it the day of sectionals, and Shen just had the depth to run a solid race, not a great one, but be able to win that way. So yeah,
yeah,
the depth can be a major factor.
yeah. Some
Um,
things never change. Nandahala,
oh
just
yeah, they've
huge
got
depth from
a million kids, but
big district.
yeah, yeah, right. All right, so let's see here. What do you think? You touched on a couple of these. What do you think some of the reasons were that you were successful or that the team was successful in high school? And you can even bring in some of your college running experience too.
Well, personally, I was very focused on improving myself. So I loved putting up PRs, and I mean, who doesn't? But like not just racing PRs, but like training PRs too. So like over the summer, like I loved like just putting the numbers down on that log sheet and just adding it up and being like, got 65 miles this week. Maybe I'll go 67. Maybe I'll go 70 next week,
Right,
and just building up. And I mean, that gets out of hand sometimes, but you just
right.
start adding in those doubles. And yeah, I was definitely doing some 70+ mile weeks in summers. And my long runs, I used to be like, oh well, we did 17 this week, and maybe we'll do, or maybe we did 17 last week, maybe we'll do 17 and a half this week, and maybe we'll
Right.
do 18. And then it got to the point where I did one long run, and then somebody had to come to practice late for whatever reason, so I did like almost a second long run with them. So I did like a 20-mile long run, and Mr. Kranick took me aside and was like, "Don't do that anymore. That's too much." So just always trying to just improve myself.
Yeah.
And then for the team, it just um, the fun thing about running with people is that you want everybody to succeed, and like they're your friends and you want to succeed with them, but you also want to beat them. So like
Yeah.
you're pushing off your teammates. Your teammates become your rivals. They're your best buddies, but you also you kind of want to get in front of them. And
Well, I just remember, practices, how competitive they could get. And I could remember running up Broadway, and for some reason the group might split, and there'd be 3 or 4 of us running on one side of the road and 3 or 4 of us running on the other side. And people would be looking across, and you'd be like trying to race each other, running parallel lines going up Broadway, and how
oh,
competitive
definitely.
those things could get. And it was almost like every day you would hit West Circular Street, which is just about a mile to go in the run going back to school. And there would be like this unspoken, like, we're going to pick it up all of a sudden. Things would get pretty competitive. I've
Oh,
noticed.
absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. Um, that's awesome. All right, let's talk a little bit about college then. Where did you go to college? Your major, and maybe comparing a little bit of running between college and high school.
Sure. So I went to Colgate University. It is in Hamilton, New York. It's not too far away from Saratoga. It's about 90 minutes, 2 hours, depending on traffic. And I was recruited there, and it gave me a great opportunity to run Division I while getting a great education, and not being too far away from home. And I knew a couple people who had gone to Colgate ahead of me. Louis Denuzzo from Shaker went there, so I did have some sort of contact with them. Um, Jake Crom
Parents'
from,
neighbor. Louis lives down the street from my parents.
oh yeah.
Yeah, right on Lake.
And then Jake Cron, who was a high school rival, eventually one of my best friends. He was going there too. So um, yeah, so I went to Colgate, and I ran cross country, indoor and outdoor, all 4 years. And then a neat thing I think about college cross country and track teams is that um, you just like high school, your teammates become your best friends. And then, but you're out on your own. You're not going home to your parents every night. You are living with your teammates. So,
Yeah, right.
and that
Yeah.
and that is a lot of fun. And it also can be very beneficial because everybody keeps each other honest. If you're getting out for that morning run and 3 of the 4 bedrooms empty out and the 4th bedroom is sleeping in, like you're going to be knocking on that door, making them get out of bed. Um,
Right.
so, but yeah, our team was really close knit. Some of the guys on the team, I'm still best friends with,
Right.
many years later. Um, what was I going to say? Um, but yeah, just waking up in the morning, going out for runs with them, going to classes with some of them, going to afternoon practice. Then we'd go straight to dinner. Sometimes we'd go to the library after that, do some
Right.
schoolwork, and then come home and usually go out for like late night pizza and stuff. But
Yeah, no, I think we had really similar experiences, like the group of
yeah,
friends that we both made at college and the cultures of the team and sort of how we
hmm
spent time together with our teammates. And I mean, we actually, our team and your team, there's a lot of overlap between friends that were made between
oh
you and
yeah,
I. Like I would visit you and bring friends, or you'd visit and bring friends. And I remember one time we had a big thing during the summer at my parents' house, and I had a bunch of Geneseo teammates there, and you brought a bunch of Colgate friends, and we went to the track and we went to SPAC at night, and it was a lot of fun. So
that was a lot of fun.
yeah, similar groups of guys, and yeah, it's definitely an experience that you form your best friends. I think through doing all that hard work, really, and
Yeah,
similar mindsets, similar values, stuff like that.
yeah, shared experience and
Right.
yeah.
Cool. All right. So how about a little bit after college? So you graduated in '06 from Colgate.
Yes,
So
graduated
it's
in
been about
'06.
14, 15 years. So what's gone on since then?
Man, what a date on it.
Yeah, right.
Oh, not very much. Yeah, after college, I moved down to Maryland. I followed my college girlfriend. She graduated a year ahead of me, and she had a
Right.
job down there. And she eventually became my wife. So happy ending to that. Um, we have 3 beautiful children. Thomas, who is 7, and Catherine, who is 5, and Eleanor, who is 2. And I would have nicer things to say about them if I haven't been quarantined with them for the last 3 weeks exclusively. So no,
Right.
they're great. They're very wild. But we have a fun time. So and that's what's important.
It's awesome.
Um, so for work, I'm director of finance for a health system down here. So very interesting with everything that's going on right now. So I'm fortunate that I'm able to work from home right now. So we are all quarantined together. I'm not
Yeah.
not having to go with my coworkers on the front lines at the hospital. So that's
Yeah,
good.
that is good. I'm glad for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and still running, still not nearly as serious as I used to be, but um, I still like to get out. It's still a nice way to relax. Um, One of the hardest things for me personally after college um, was admitting to myself that like my PRs are from different times in my life. So I have high school PRs, I have college PRs, and I have PRs in my 20s, and I have PRs now in my 30s. So it's like you can't measure yourself against your high school self always. So
Right. Right.
so if I get out and I if I'm running at 7:30 pace, that I'm ecstatic. So,
Right.
so so I won't ever be putting sub 5 minute miles out there anymore. But I ran a race on New Year's Day and I ran 5:56 for the mile, and I mean I was a little hungover, but I was really excited to see that 5 on the board on the 10 o'clock when I crossed. So
Awesome. All right. Well, that's great. Just to finish up, any advice you could offer these guys, either for this time period right now, they're training on their own. I mean, I'm posting workouts for them, but they're doing a great job running on their own. Or even over the course of the summer, getting ready for cross country season or anything like that.
Yeah. Well, first, it's just like right now, going everybody running on their own. It's smart, keeping yourself safe, limiting your exposure. That's very smart. But you should also feel lucky because a lot of people don't have that ability to just like get out of the house and get out on the roads and experience the freedom that comes with doing a run out there. So enjoy your runs. Enjoy your training. That's a very important thing. And then listen to your coaches. I know where Mr. Zanetti has recruited me for this, but he didn't tell me to say that. I would say that your coaches definitely have your best interests in heart. Believe it or not, there's very little fame and glory and riches that come with being a cross-country coach. So their motivation is to see you succeed. And I just, speaking aside, Shane's always telling me about how great the guys are doing. And you could just see it in his face, how proud he is of his athletes. So yeah, definitely listen to your coaches. They have your best interest. But it really does come down to you, the athlete, because you have to be willing to put in the work. If you want to see success, like, you have to push yourself. There were times in my career where I mean, did what was on the page and ran okay races, and that was okay. But like my fondest memories are when I was pushing myself past where I thought I could go and really putting up the results that came along with that. So
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks a lot, man. So I really
thanks.
appreciate getting to catch up with you. And I'm going to click the end of the recording here.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun.
All right. Awesome. Well, all right. Thanks, Sean.
All right. Good luck to everybody in their upcoming training and season eventually.
Awesome.